Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and all the ships at sea. Is that, do they even still say that these days? I don't know. But welcome to the premiere. It's the first ever episode of Live Better, brought to you by the folks at Wave Video and me, Chad, the story catcher. Why are we here? Well, we're all still trying to figure that out ourselves, but our ultimate goal is to try to help you learn how to live better, improve your live streams, or maybe just get started live streaming, and also to help you utilize the tools that are available in Wave Video. Just let you know that everything you're going to see here today was created using that incredible tool, and those graphics and the things that we can make with Wave Video can make your live streams just look incredible. Let me just let you know right now, I'm probably all in my head. I'm thinking too much, and so I'm just going to take a deep breath. I'm going to try to be me, and we're just going to try to have fun and enjoy ourselves for, well, however long this show takes. I will tell you that based on our guests that I'm going to introduce to you in just a moment, it could go long. They like to talk. And they're probably giving me dirty looks right now. But that's okay, because they're great friends of mine. Jessika Phillips of Now Marketing, and her compadre, her partner in crime of their long-running Magnet Marketers live streaming show that they do each week. In fact, these guys have been live streaming together for over 5 years, going on 6 years, actually. Actually, it might be over 6 years. We're going to let them tell us. But just so you know, to put it in perspective, did you know the average length of a marriage in the United States is 8.2 years? So just saying, they may be headed for some rough waters. We'll see. But what are we going to talk about today, guys? Today, our guests are going to come in. We're going to discuss how to kickstart your live streaming show. But before you do, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll put up some links here in a little bit to YouTube, Facebook, or you can go to our website and sign up via email, and we'll let you know whenever the next show is going to be out and about. All right, without further ado, here they are, the legends themselves, Jessika Phillips and Mike Gingerich. How are you guys? Well, I hope I didn't start something or open up a can of anything that I might regret later. Miss Gingerich. Wow, you took it way deeper than I was. Oh, to his wife. Oh, this. Welcome to our first and last episode. Oh, I had the folks at Wave Video are sitting behind their desks, shaking their head, going, where did we find? Exactly, where did we find this guy? So, anyway, hey guys, it's great to see you. It was, how long has it been since we were all together at Social Media Week in Lima? Wow, already a couple months. What a great time. For those of you who don't know, Jessika and her agency, the Now Marketing Group in Lima, Ohio, the thriving metropolis of Lima, Ohio, put on one of the best, if not the best, social media marketing conference every year. And just a couple months ago, we were all able to get back together, and pretty exciting stuff. So, but hey, we're here to talk about live streaming. And you guys have been doing your show now for how long? tell you what, guys, we are being told, and this is why live streaming is so much fun. We got a little message here that we may not have uh, your audio the way it needs to be. So if you give us just a sec here, we're gonna make a couple little clicks, a couple little tweaks, and see if we can figure out why. I know, right? This is why we do these things. This is why we do these things. Now, Mike, we should be
Testing.
able to
You got
hear
me?
you now. Um, and
All right.
look, I do see you coming through. So, hey, you know what? This is why we do this, guys. I remember the first time I ever went live, like ever. We were using a tool that did not, well, let's just say it wasn't that easy to use. And the entire show, I thought I had audio, but found out later, not so much. So it happens, and it's just one of those things. So, all right. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna bring you guys back in, and are we getting that from you guys now?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's the audience saying now?
Can you guys hear everybody? I believe they can hear you guys now. Somebody says they
Single
can't hear
thumbs
you.
up for
Guys,
Mike.
I
Double thumbs up for
apologize.
Jessica.
Can you guys hear me? Hello, hello.
We hear Mike. That's a
Mommy.
good sign. Okay, one more.
Hello, hello.
We hear Mike again. Great. How about Jessica?
Mike. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yep,
Hello, hello.
we
Wah,
are
wah.
fixing it ASAP, guys. We apologize for this.
It's all right.
You know, there's a
Now
slight
I'm
delay
Hi,
too, so
Karen.
that's. Oh, now we've got both of you guys in there at the same time. When it
Jessica
rains, it
looking good.
pours.
Yay. That's a good screenshot right there. You know.
So if you turn to the side, can you actually look at yourself, or does it go in the same direction?
Oh, nope, I missed it.
I hear you both. Okay, we got it back. So there's a new tool that we're using to try to do some of the little quirky things that we've got going on here. You know, for example, you see the little round circles. But in order for us to do that, and we're going to give you a behind the scenes tour, hopefully in a few weeks, to show you how we're doing it. Or in this case, how we didn't do it. But we're all up and running now. But sometimes what happens is something refreshes, and there we are. So, hey, we're going to bring you guys back. Boom, fresh start. How we doing, everyone? Good. So, let's talk about your show one more time for those who missed it. You guys have been doing this for how long? Your show together?
Yeah, we'll just say 6 years. Technically, we started out. I started out in the office first, pre-recording the show and publishing it live to YouTube, and it was a whole production thing. And then the beauty of live video came out. Mike and I started on Blab. We actually had two shows: Relationships and ROI and Magnet Marketers. And then Blab went away right as some of the live streaming was coming out big
Yep.
on Facebook and Instagram and all the channels. So then we've been consistent for over now 6 years, every week since then.
Every week.
Feels crazy to think. Feels crazy to think it's that old. Like we're old in the live streaming world.
I know.
6 years.
I
I mean,
know.
that's a long time. That's a really long time, and
Yes.
especially in the digital world. So you guys have been doing this live streaming thing for a long time, and today we kind of want to get people thinking about starting a live show and some
Mhm.
best practices or ways that they can kickstart their own show. Um, what would you say is the number one question somebody who's getting ready to start live streaming or is thinking about live streaming should ask themselves
Yeah.
prior to doing it?
Mike, you want to start first, or do you want?
Yeah. No, I think that they got to know their why and their end game. So what purpose is it going to serve? How's it going to fit into their overall strategy? Just of who they want to be, how they want to come across, and what they want to accomplish with it. So that's a key question to answer as a starting point. Jessica, what do you add or change to that?
Well, Mike, you know this because you've been around me for over 6 years. And Chad, you may know this, but I'm a huge fan of acronyms. So I always ask the question, why is somebody going to want to watch your live stream? And watch is an acronym that breaks down to asking some of the questions that you just said, Mike. So the first one is the W, what purpose? Like, for what purpose are you creating it? That can be your why, or like, what is your end game, right? Like, what purpose are you creating the video? And then the A is, all about your activators, like who's going to be attending the live stream, like what kind of community members or activators are you going to want to attract? Because a lot of times people think, their persona in terms of persona as in their customer, but a lot of times it's not just your audience of customers or clients that are going to be watching it. Sometimes it's activators, meaning that you could be creating the show if your purpose is to be known in the space that you're creating it for. So like for us, for example, one of the Magnet Marketer shows, it's like to become known as like knowing our stuff as it relates to relationship marketing. And a lot of people that are watching the show are activators, or people that'll never be our client. They're running their own thing, but they're activators now for us, right? And they're promoting us on. So activators is a little bit different than what I would consider personas. And then, the T in watch is all about like your technique, like meaning how are you going to show up and make it your own flair, your own style? Like Chad, you're known for having it really kind of streamlined and fun, and adding in all these extra elements, like to become
no audio.
your own style. Yeah. Yeah. But rolling with the punches, right? Like you were very, laid back and conversational, right? Some people may be very deliberate and I'm going to show you a screen share of how to do this thing, or it could just be for fun. Like, what is your technique? What's your style, right? And then the C is all about then the consistency. How often are you going to do it? Where are you going to deliver it, right? And then the H is all about being human, right? Your humanity. Like at the end of the day, how are you going to use it to make sure that you're using it to connect on a real level? So it's not just something that people should be able to watch on YouTube, as a replay. Like the live element is all about being able to engage with your community, your audience. That's the beauty of live. So how are you going to use it in a way that adds in those elements to be able to add more humanity into streaming, not just it could be a pre-recorded thing.
Gotcha. Mike, let me ask you. You've been doing this with Jessica for 6 years, and you've had countless guests come on your show. Many who have their own live shows. But 6 years in, somebody that wants to start a show, they're asking themselves, "Am I too late? Is there still room for me? Did I miss the boat?" What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'd say absolutely not. Just because things change and evolve all the time, and everyone, is uniquely them with a unique community and niche, a unique angle that they would bring to things. And so there's just plenty of opportunity that way, because it's about who they are, and everyone's unique. That kind of goes back to that whole thing about are we competitors or collaborators, and it's just kind of our belief that there's enough space for everyone, just because there's gonna be a gravitation for different people to a different live show, and so there's room for plenty because of your unique style, brand, and niche that you want to present.
Well, let's talk about niche, however you want to say it, potato. One, I want to get both of y'all's ideas or tips for people how they can find their niche or how they can niche down. But Mike, if you were going to niche down your particular show, would you run, bike, or swim?
Right. I would bike probably, yes, of the three. So swimming is survival. Running can be labor, but bike, there's a flow.
Gotcha.
Comes
Those
back to
who
my
are
triathlon days.
exactly the triathlon days. Those who are out there going, that was really random, Chad. Why did you bring that up? Mike, you've actually written some books on the sport, right?
I have, yes, yes, some training books, things like that. That's kind of based on my experience, some scientific research combined in those pieces, putting those together. Yeah, but it's I just did a what was it? I'm about 3 weeks out from my last triathlon of 2021 here. They were just basically kind of getting back going again, and in the COVID environment. So had a good one.
Wow, I'm like 3 weeks out from my last Big Mac. Um, but we all have our gifts, right? We all have our gifts. So this face doesn't just happen.
Right, there you go.
So Jessica, what are some tips that you'd give to somebody who's they're like, I want to live stream, but I can't really figure out what my niche is. I like everything.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, to touch on something that you had asked Mike, and if people are too late, I would say actually you're at an advantage, first of all, thinking about it in this way, because now you can see what all kinds of things are out there. You can see what's working, what are people doing, and you get, a taste for what you can imagine yourself doing with your community. And I would say sometimes we overthink things, thinking we have to like niche it down or make it so complex that we psych ourselves out, because I feel many people that have a gift for something, it becomes so natural to them that they don't realize it's their gift. Right. So they feel like they have to overcomplicate it. And it has to be something so much more than what it is because it comes just innate to them. So when you think about what is your gift first, sometimes you can just ask your community first, like, hey, what am I known for? Depending your industry, right? Like if you're doing this as a live show, as growing your personal brand, you can ask people, hey, what am I known for? What do you think about when you think about me? And kind of get a sense of some of those adjectives maybe that they would use to describe you, to find out your gift. And that could potentially then help inspire some ideas for what your show could turn into, right? The second thing to ask yourself is, what do we want to be known for? Maybe is your organization or you, and how can I help people either achieve a goal faster or solve a pain point?
Yeah,
And when you ask yourself those questions, then I move into the third question, which is, how do I want to deliver this message? Do I want to educate, entertain, bring in other experts, like edutainment? Like, what am I trying to accomplish at the end of the day? How do I want to deliver it then? Because not everybody can just be entertaining and comical. It may not feel natural to you. But maybe for you, you're a great teacher, and maybe that was one of the adjectives that people use, like you're patient, you're helpful, right? You're a great teacher. So now you can say, okay, I can come on into a live show, that's my thing, and help people then solve this problem or reach this goal faster. And really, it kind of puts it into then perspective for you on how you can show up. And then I would say, just don't overthink it once you get going. You can always morph a little bit as you start, getting going. Like if you go back to Mike and I's first videos, they were kind of rough. Like I was nervous, like doing the intro. I mean, I would always stumble over my words at the beginning, but and there's still times that I do that. Like that's the beauty though of live streaming, is that nobody's expecting you to be perfect. And the people that are showing up there for you are there because if your intention is right, your intention meaning like you are there for a good purpose of truly helping someone, people are going to feel that, and they're going to be accepting of you and all the nuances that happen along the way. So just cut yourself some slack, go to a good place of truly asking yourself, what am I here to do, for what purpose, and how can I show up? And then you'll create your niche, if you will, which I really feel like more a better word is style, like your own style for delivery,
it's
a
good.
lot smoother.
Awesome. Kate says that they're taking notes, morphing niches. Someone also said that they can hardly hear me, which is interesting. I'm looking at all the different levels,
Never
and I
the
should
case
be
with that.
coming
So
through like really, really well. So, but if you can't hear me, I'm going to speak up because I don't want to break the internet. I don't even know if you can break the internet. Jessica, a lot of the things that you said make sense, and obviously you and I have had discussions around this topic. Many of which probably drove you nuts, and that's one of my gifts. And perhaps one day I'll do a show about driving others nuts. So, Mike, what would you say outside of the triathlon world? What would you say is your niche?
Whew. I think probably it's strategy and related to strategy is broad, so a couple of areas within that. I mean, there can be business strategy, content strategy, digital strategy, and those pieces. So it's kind of putting seeing. Yeah, I mean that's my mantra. So if we in any situation, I don't think we can go wrong if we seek to add value and be uncommon. And I think that that's what I try to do, try to live out, and oftentimes, like I said, that does come down to some type of setting strategy direction for something.
Gotcha. So, with both of you guys, with your niches and the things that are going on, how did you make the decision that, you know what, we're going to do this show, we're going to do it together, and how have you made it work? And what would you suggest to somebody that's starting out, looking at a new show, they want to kick off their new show? Do they need a co-host, or, do they just do it all by myself?
it depends.
Yeah.
I would say it depends. So so first of all, your first question is some tips to recommend. I recommend creating your own show flow, like getting into a flow for consistency. I actually ended up writing ours out because we do so many things repetitive. What I mean by repetitive is, you have to schedule the show, when you promote it, how you promote it afterward, because it's not just the time that you're spending within doing the show, right? There's so much that goes in before, during, and after that you have to think through. So I would say mapping that out first, don't overcomplicate, but map it out first. That's going to be your big win. And honestly, our show really is 80%, I would say, of our content that we use then on Now Marketing Group, because we're helping to promote others. My personal mission is to help others love more, give more, be more through the art of authentic relating, which means really learning about others, shining the light on them, and really collaborating together to build a strong community. And by featuring others and their expertise, we can do that. We can serve more people, right? By coming together. So that was also one of the reasons of having a co-host, is that I want to show Mike is working in another agency, right? Some people may say it's competitor, but I say, no, it's a collaborator, right? People are going to choose working with me for one reason, Mike for one reason, and we've actually referred business back and forth. So part of the reason was showing that there's no scarcity mindset. The other part was showing he's got a different skill set than I do, right? Like, he is really good at succinctly saying things. And if you haven't been able to tell so far, brevity is not my strong suit. So I'll talk for like 3 minutes and he'll sum it up in a second. So he's like a Jessica whisperer, if you will. So it's a really good balance with that. And another thing was just nerves. Honestly, like if you have nerves of going live by yourself, it was really good balance for me at first to not get this anxiety, the social anxiety of going live by myself.
I totally get that. Where you and I are kind of people persons. Is it people or people persons? Mike, help us there. What's the proper grammar on that?
Yeah, you're a people person. I guess, I don't know. So I think as well, to add to what Jessica said, that you do have to kind of get a feel for that yourself. And for us, I think, kind of what makes it work is a few things. Number one, I mean, we go back a long time to meeting social media marketing world, 2013, something like that. And so there was first just a friendship and a camaraderie and a collaboration and a sense that we kind of had quite a few of the same values, and the style was as she said, collaborative, because it wasn't labor. It was fun, and there was flow. And so when it's fun and flowing, then that makes it, that really kind of greases every show, and so it can flow together. We can bring in someone and hopefully put on a good show by revealing the best of what that person has to offer through the combination of our kind of unique styles flowing together.
Yeah, I like that. There's how would you guys describe your ability to flow smoothly in conversation with each other and with guests on your show now compared to 5 years ago?
Mike knows this. I've struggled, honestly, a few times where I'm like, I get almost antsy if there's like quiet space, I want to speak up. And where Mike is like quiet, calm, cool, collected, and then we'll say things. So we had to honestly talk through that and write out and say, hey, what do we want to be our flow now that we have a guest? So we brought in a guest, so I should clarify that. When it was just he and I, it's natural, right? Like, but now that we've decided to bring in guests, and we've had guests before, but it wasn't every show, and now it is every show, though we had to revisit that and honestly have those conversations. So it's not like one person talking over or any of that, and say, hey, like, I take the first question, you take the second, but without it feeling scripted. It's a balance, I would say. But yeah, I
Yeah,
would say it was the very beginning. It was, just learning each other.
Sure. No,
learning each
that
other. And we did put together kind of we kind of have a framework. We don't have necessarily a script that's fully followed, but it's a framework that's going to take place. And probably one of the things that we didn't mention yet, but what's just very important to us, is that we are very selective about who the guest is. We don't just bring in anybody, because that can just go haywire and really throw us off. You can't get anywhere if we can't connect, or if that style is so contrary to us, that it's not going to go flow well. So that's probably one key that I would offer to anybody considering that if you're going to bring guests on, you need to be selective and think through that. What's going to bring value to your audience, and can you connect well? Is this person going to come from some of the same values? We're not looking for people to just take over our show and go and speak 95% of the time period there and hammer out some sales pitch, so that's important to us. Who are you bringing in?
Yeah, like I'm saying here at the bottom there, look who's coming to dinner. You're bringing people to your table. What is your process? How do you decide who's a good fit? And share with me, without names or whatever, but a time where you had to turn someone down as a guest.
Yeah. So
'Cause I have a hard time picturing Jessika being able to do this.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. So I have before, in a nice way. Okay. So our process one is, I love learning from others. So I'm just not expecting others to be on the show without me first have participating in something that they've done. So a lot of times the guests have come from me either participating in a clubhouse or me watching them on their channel delivering their good, because I want to see them in action and how they show up. Because Mike was so spot on and such a good tip of knowing who you're bringing on, because you are essentially saying, I am inviting you to my community, to my trusted built-in community that I've worked with. And now I'm inviting you as a guest. So most people think you're vouching for that person. So you definitely don't want to bring in the wrong person that's not going to align with your ideals. We have done this in all transparency one time that I was bamboozled. I thought I knew who this person was. It was not. And we were like, cut it, because it wasn't good. And we joined the next show, the very next live show. We apologized, and we didn't call this person out, but we said, this is why it's important to know who you're inviting. So I think people knew what we were talking about. But this person was just really hard on a sales pitch. And we are all about, the show is magnet marketers, being a magnet, not a bullhorn, being able to attract the right people into you naturally because you align with them and you are there to offer value versus just bullhorning your message out, one way speak, right? So our process is, again, listening to others, maybe on their show, knowing them, have met them, maybe heard them speak somewhere, and really thinking they have something really of value that they could bring. Not only that I enjoy them, but the community that I'm wanting to bring them in front of could really get value out of it. So what we do from there is we reach out. Now I have Julia in our lives, which love having this, which Julia is our community manager for the show, where she will then send, we have a full live show flow. If you want, you can give it to the community chat if that's okay. But that shows the process where we send them an email invite to fill out a form where they say, here's what we're going to offer. Here's what I want, here's the takeaways that I want to get out of my time on the show. And here's, all of my information. And when they fill out that form, then we'll schedule them for a time to be on the show. So we only do book people that have filled out that form.
Yeah.
And so then we can be selective that way. But then also, if somebody has applied that doesn't align, we can just say, I don't feel that it's right for our community. I don't feel like it would have the benefit that you want out of it too, because our community knows what we're about. So we just can say it nicely in that way that, sorry, let's just be friends. Not live show mates.
No,
I don't know, Jessica, if you'd say it this strong, but I mean, I'd say it's probably about 90% of the guests we have are people that we invite. It's a rare thing that someone comes to us and says, I want to be on your show, and we say, okay,
Yeah. No, if they've ever asked to be on the show first, before we meet, I always have a call with them, and then I want to see other examples of things. But it's usually a warm invitation. Do we get people that ask a lot? Yeah. But have we ever invited somebody that's just asked and we don't have any experience with their work? No.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. Hey, listen, folks, here in just a little bit, we're actually going to be doing a little giveaway, and we're going to give you some more details on exactly what we'll be giving away later on, but just a quick synopsis, summary. You're going to get 3 hours of consulting, 1 hour with 3 different team members from the Wave video team, and we'll give you the details on that, but we're going to help you with the graphics on your live stream. Also going to work with you on some strategy and KPI work, and I'm going to consult with you on audio. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to consult
and
with you
gifts.
on audio. Gifts and of course, getting your stories together and finding those stories that you've forgotten that you had. But we'll get into that. They're throwing some details up on the screen. But the reason I mentioned that is because I have one last question for you, and then we're just going to get a few questions from our guests. But I've been putting these little quirky little phrases up. If someone guesses in the comments what this next phrase is from or what it's supposed to be, I think that's how we're going to pick our winner today. So I'm going to put that up there. And my question for you is, what are some of your favorite tools, or which tools would you suggest to somebody who is getting going with live streaming?
Yeah, I mean, I think you gotta, if you're gonna collaborate, I mean, you obviously gotta have some kind of cloud-based tool. I mean, that can be as simple as we often use a lot is the Google Suite. So whether it's a Google Sheet with kind of some speakers and things, and a Google Form to capture things ahead of time, and a Google Doc to get show notes together. The key there is that we can collaborate in the cloud in real time, so we don't have to, we're not emailing files back and forth and all that kind of thing. So, I mean, that's the starting point. Then obviously, what your live streaming tool is important to say. And, I mean, there's lots of pieces out there on that. So I think that's a couple starters. I'll let Jessica jump in a few more.
Yeah. So definitely Google, like as you mentioned, we use that for our form, for our notes document, for the calendar reminders, for scheduling out the spreadsheets. So Google Sheets, all that there. And then we use StreamYard to live stream. But as I mentioned before, it's not just about what happens during the live show. It's what happens before and after and during, right? So after, we take clips of the show and we use Wave to promote it. So we promote like highlights of what has been used or said in the show to capture some of those really cool moments. And Wave has been amazing with that. We also send thank you videos, to people and thank you to our guests, because we want to make sure that we're very appreciative of their time. So we use tools for that. We use StreamYard to do the live streaming, as I mentioned, there to actually go live. But then also another big thing is that not everybody's watching it live, so you have to be mindful of people that are watching the replay and being able to be alerted and be able to respond to that, especially if you're live streaming on multiple channels. So Agora Pulse is amazing for this. That has the one inbox to where it'll let you know who's commented where, and you can make sure that you've checked all those out. So I highly recommend using a tool like that. But we've loved Agora Pulse because not only does it let us monitor the comments, but the videos that we've used with Wave to put in there, then to promote, we can go back and see how well it's performed. We can reuse it on other channels and get reporting on it. Like, those are the dream tools working together, in my opinion. It's worked really well for us, and it's the ones we've tried a lot of them. We've tried Be Live. We've tried, all these ones before. There was a lot, right, Mike? It seemed like as soon as we got going, then something would happen. But the ones that have been consistent, that we've kept for years, and in our gold, in my opinion, are Wave, Agora Pulse, and StreamYard, and of course Google. Like, that's been our secret recipe to success, I would say.
Awesome. Mike, by the way, just the way you jumped in there on that question, I felt like you really ran with it.
There it is, man.
Guys. All right. Good work.
It's impressive.
It's about 10K.
That's right, man.
10K.
I love it.
That's me running to get my trash can outside, and Mike's like, "That was me after 10K."
But Jessica, you may not be running 10K, but before we get to these guest questions, you had a big thing that just recently happened in your world as well. Perhaps you can tell me what's this little plaque about down here?
Well, I was honored. I was inducted to the Hall of Fame at my high school. So that was just an amazing honor to be able to showcase. I went and graduated from a city school where, it's often a lot of students that go there are just, a lot of them are living under the poverty level and things like that. And this was a really cool way to show them that you can do whatever you put your mind to. So I was really honored to have that award.
Awesome, and very much deserved, no doubt. All right, Kate, if you're ready in the background and are scrolling through there, we're going to bring up just a couple questions from some of our guests who have decided to stay despite the audio, but because our guests are just incredible. All right. So Kate, working behind the scenes here with us today, hopefully has a question or two that she's going to pull up for us or she's frantically scrolling now and looking for those. Somebody says they're going to have to. Whoop, never mind. I think that was a oops question. That's okay. We, you know what? This show is going to have oopses because we've called the show Live Better, but my motto is that we're going to learn together how to live better because I'm learning with you. There's some things that I know, but there's plenty that I don't, and I'm looking forward to learning as well. All right. So while we are looking for questions here, I know there were some earlier. Let's see. Well, let's just pull up one from Kate while she's looking for others. She was asking if you could tell them more about your framework and how you created the framework that you use for your show.
Yeah, honestly, just years of learning. Like we said, we've been doing this for 6 years. So I started out creating I call it the live show flow for Julia, that I decided to finally hire someone to help me with the scheduling, making sure that we're, emailing the guest ahead of time. I want them to know exactly who our audience is, give them examples of the show, make sure we have all their information accurate and give them all the most, all the details, because there's nothing worse than not having the information ahead of time if you're a guest, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to hire someone to make sure that everything was consistent. Not just that, but that, like I said, the show's promoted afterward, that you're not just doing it for one time. So I wrote out everything to train her, and then realized, like, holy crap, this is gold, actually. Because it literally breaks down everything that we do, not just preparing for the show, but every day, what we need to do on a daily basis, Monday through Friday, whatever, to make sure that everything flows smoothly, and what you need to do ahead of time to make sure that we make a good show, because we actually did a spin-off show that Chad, that you're producing on, because you're freaking amazing, for another target audience group called Every Now and Then. And that was the questions I wanted everyone to go through before developing a solid show and saying, yes, we have a good idea. So I wrote everything out, and then said, you know what, this could be of value to others. I want to give it away in case anybody else is wanting to create a live show, so they can avoid some of the pitfalls that we have, and just give it away to them.
Awesome.
Definitely, it was evolution over time. I mean, we've over the years. And I think there's a few things you need to look at, because even our time lengths, have changed. That's just the key thing. That's part of the actual show. And basically, again, that comes back to your audience. What's an ideal length that your audience will listen to? And that can be different, and so for us, that has evolved over time. And that's part of the framework, is kind of analysis as well. So that framework is, not the same that it was 2 years ago. It looks different, and so it's a continual kind of tweaking process. But the framework is all the way back from how are you going to get guests, how are you going to communicate to guests, make sure they're informed, how are you going to do the prep ahead of time, how are you going to pull together that blog post afterwards, how are you going to promote that afterwards. So there's a lot of the framework is much more than that time period when we are live together with the guest.
Gotcha. And somebody had asked about the length of a show, and I think that just varies for everyone, and it can depend on the episode. If people are watching, if things are moving, things are going, if there's conversation happening, if you're engaging with the people that are watching, the show could go as long as it's going to go. Would you guys say that 30 minutes to an hour typically, though, is about where you want to stay?
Yeah, like Mike said, great point, Mike. We were going for 45 minutes. We found like that's sometimes too long. People are wanting to get the information and get out, right? On that type of show, the show goal is to inform. They want the information, they want out. When people are entertained, I feel like they have a higher threshold to stay on. And so I would say we trimmed our show, Magnet Marketers, to right around 25, 30 minutes because we felt like that after reviewing, that's the length of time. But like now, for example, that every now and then people are like, it's too short. We want a longer show. So to your point, Chad, with the breaks and everything in between, when you break it up and you have like games or whatever else in the middle of it, you can go on longer, but you have to really just look and pay attention, because if we would have kept going on an hour, maybe the good stuff wasn't until the very end. And I shouldn't say that. What I mean, like your call to action potentially isn't until the end, and maybe people weren't hearing that, or you don't want people to feel like this is dragging on. I want it to end. So you look at the watch time and can adjust accordingly. But yeah, it just depends. When the audience is telling you it's too short,
Right.
make it longer. If you're seeing the view time cuts off at a certain point, make it shorter and see what it is there.
One last question. What and then there's some that are still in the chat, and perhaps if you guys have time, and I'll try to do as well, we can go back and answer those later. We're here to to help you guys as much as we can. But last question for each of you. I want to hear from each of you. Mike first. Mm-hmm. What do you wish you would have known before you had gotten started doing this?
What do I wish I would have known before I got started? I mean, I think that I think we've covered a lot of those points. Number one is kind of what's a great time length that's going to work for our audience. I think because Blab was more entertainment a little bit, maybe there too, and there was sometimes more of us, and so those did run longer again. So it was based on that tool. I think that it's gotten so much easier these days. What do I wish I would have known before? I mean, before, there was tech things. You had to be, usually, you weren't using, this is AirPods. Did they exist? I don't even know really, but that was early on. So there wasn't easy tech. You had to know more IT stuff. So fortunately, that's gotten easier as well. Like with StreamYard, some of these tools have made it, very simple for us from the technology standpoint. And I wish I would have known before. What else? I think that's I wish we would have gotten into maybe a framework faster. I mean, we were free flowing early just because we didn't know, and I think that the framework that we've used has helped us, up our game and deliver a better show. So I think I don't know if I'm saying anything necessarily new, but I'm just emphasizing some points that we did cover today.
No, I would say it's not necessarily the framework. It was a Julia. So we have the framework. It was a person to help out. So I would say you don't always have to do it all. Sometimes you can't do it all. Like I was doing it all, like scheduling, writing out the notes, booking the guest, all of it, and on top of what I was already doing at work. And so some weeks the blog would get done the next day. Some weeks it would take a few weeks. So to Mike's point, like getting into that flow, like I realized like it was just too much for me to do. So I needed to have someone to help me. So hiring, I would say somebody sooner, definitely something I wish I would have known earlier. And also I would say not being afraid to reach out to people. I feel like just knowing that when you're coming from a good place, like give yourself some slack, reach out to others. Like they would be honored to be on a show. I think at the beginning I was kind of like intimidated and nervous, and didn't want to feel like I was like, I don't know, like asking something of someone of their time, but people genuinely, if you're coming from a good place, will want to be on the show. So I feel like we didn't always have guests because I was in my own head too much. So I'd say get out of your head a little bit, definitely have somebody help you out, and the power of staying consistent, like Mike said, with the flow of that blog post going out the very next day, everything, that is definitely important. But that also means I wish I would have known at the beginning, to sum it all up, I wish I would have known how much time it really does take
Yeah.
because I would have brought somebody on earlier and not put all the pressure on myself to do that. Because I wouldn't have, to keep it consistent.
Awesome.
Don't underestimate
Guys, you guys
the
have
time
so
commitment.
much experience. We could sit here and talk to you guys forever. You've been doing this so long. When you guys first launched your live show, I graduated high school. So, you've been doing this for a while. So, anyway, tell you what, let's give something away, and we'll see how that works out. All right. So I didn't see anybody guess. Do either of you guys have a guess on the?
What was the question?
What the little phrase I used in the one little chat?
I didn't see the phrase
there. Let's put it back up. We'll give everybody just a short little second here. See if anybody can get what that was. A little hint when I popped it up. I also asked you guys what were your favorite tools that you used. So there was a little bit of a connection there, but
tool
perhaps
reference.
It was a little too tough. So, but that being said,
we'll leave it for somebody who watch the replay and guess what it is. So we don't.
We may do that. I'm waiting to hear from, I've got Julia and Kate in the background that hopefully are going to just throw a name at us here of who they've decided will win, or we can give somebody a chance in the replay. They will message.
You got to give a shout out to Julia because she loves your set changes, which have been amazing to see, and she's on that. She has seen that, and so thanks for noticing that.
There she is. So, well,
Yeah.
thank you. Appreciate that. That's I may not get audio right, but I can scene change.
You got set changes. Yeah, there you go.
Cut yourself some slack. You did a great job.
We look pretty, we sound terrible, but you know what? That's just how we roll, or how I roll. But like I said, also though, all the images, everything that we used today though, was created with Wave Video, which is just a really, really awesome tool. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you check out wave.video. Okay, I tell you what we are going to do is we are going to let those who watch the replay have a shot at figuring out what that phrase meant, what it was in reference to, and that's how we will pick our prize winner and announce later who is going to win the 3 hours of consulting. Oh, and you're also going to get some amazing stickers. This may actually look awkward when I do it. I'm going to end up covering you up, Jessica, but yeah, those are our stickers that are coming out. Yes, I'm going to be a yellow sticker.
I love it.
Wow.
I look
okay, now
jaundiced.
I want to play, so I'm going to go in the comments and check it out because I just want the stickers. I'm here for the stickers.
You're here for the stickers. Oh man! All right, we're gonna.
Who doesn't
here? But
who doesn't want a yellow Chad? I mean, that's great.
A yellow Chad, a little jaundiced Chad sticker. That's what everybody's looking for right there. Wow. Oh, hey, we want to thank you for being here. I hate to throw one last question in just because of time, but someone asked if either of you could just elaborate just quickly. And I know you can't do this quickly because, Jessica, I know this is really, really, really your thing. But I'm going to go to Mike first, and then we're going to let Jessica tie it up here. But they asked if we could elaborate on your approach of being the magnet and not the bullhorn.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because, so the bullhorn approach is that hard sales pitch. It doesn't care about relationship. That is just, hey, do you want to buy? Do you want to buy today? Do you want to buy now? Do you want to buy this? Here's the deal, and that's a pressurized bullhorn that just shouts. It's one way. That's what a bullhorn is, right? It's just one way, where a magnet attracts. And if you think of when you do grab something with a magnet and it tracks, it comes, and it stays. So that's in essence, a relationship that is connected and staying put. So when we talk about, a show, magnet marketers, how do you do marketing that is a magnet versus a bullhorn? So it's not just about that one-time sale to get that quota up, by the end of this month, but it's more that how are you going to attract that Jessica's going to have all kinds of acronyms for this, but referral, repeat business that's going to pull into this. So that's a little bit of my take on that magnet versus bullhorn.
All right, and then Jessica,
go for it, Jessica. Acronyms.
Jessica, has Jessica ever been an acronym?
No.
Have you ever done
not that I know of.
We'll have to come up with one.
I don't know. I would love to hear your guys' acronym for that. But no, Mike said it beautifully. That was the whole concept of magnet versus a bullhorn. My whole MO, like I said, is to help people love more, give more, be more through the art of authentic relating. And I believe that one, we cannot serve everyone. We only can serve those who we can truly help and that we want to work with long term. My goal is with relationship marketing is growing repeat referral business, because I believe that it's not a sales funnel, it's a flywheel when we're in business, meaning that when we work with the right people, they're our community, our team members, our clients, that when we work with the right people and we do right by them, that they're going to always stay in our brand as a flywheel to help refer more business into us. So it only helps build our momentum. But the only way to do that is to first start from the inside out as a brand, to think, who are we? What are we really here to do? Who are we here to do it for? And when you get clarity on that, you become this strong magnet to show up in a way that's there to serve others and leave them better off than when you found them. And it's going to attract only the right people to you, that's going to stick with you like a magnet for the long term, because you don't want to serve the wrong person. There's plenty of business out there. There's plenty of work, and to attract the right people to stick with you long term is how we can show up, because those people are going to stay with you. It's only going to strengthen your magnet to draw in more. And it's never, like I said, a sales funnel where they're just going to fall out the bottom after they become a client. They're going to stick with you and continue to grow your momentum of your brand growth, versus a bullhorn is just blasting your message out. It's one-way speak. It's only about you as the brand trying to convince or, sell someone. And instead of just getting people to buy from you, it's about getting them to belong with you. So I won't go into all the acronyms, but it's truly to, you focus on out-caring or out-care your competition. And yeah, that is really truly what it's about, to help you become a strong magnet versus bullhorn.
I figured I'd put my coffee cup up too. I got that at the 9/11 memorial. I love the phrase, love is better than hate. So
that's right.
But hey,
it's so true.
Hot off the presses, we did get winners, not for the reason we were trying. I will let you know, the phrase was the sounds that Tim the Toolman Taylor made on his show Home Improvement.
Home Improvement. Yeah.
Thus the tool.
Could you sound it out for us, please, Chad? There we go.
Right? What was the other? Okay, there we go. That's riveting stuff right there. But 3 winners. Dorian Morin Van Dam is getting a set of our stickers. By the way, if you would, we're going to need your address to send stickers. So if you could send that to marketing@wave.video, we'll need that. Someone named Julia, I don't know, Julia, I don't know, Beth something or other, Jornsay Silverberg. If anybody knows who that is, a 1-hour consultation. And Julie gets the stickers as well. And Julia works actually at Now Marketing, and was brought up in the show a few times. Somebody else is bringing comments up, so we're like having a comment war. You ever done that on a show? There's two of you putting comments up, and it's like, my comment, no, my comment, my comment, no, my comment. But Julia has a 1 hour consultation with a Wave video designer, Maria, or we like to call her Masha. She's outstanding, especially with Wave video. And then the full 3 hours of consultation is going to be with, I believe they're listed on here as automated building systems. And if I'm correct, that is Harry Jameson. So we'll get in touch with you and we'll get those things set up. Yeah, absolutely. Super stoked about that. And I'm going to just make an audible here. And because, we have these stickers. If somebody can come up with in the comments an incredible live streaming app using Jessika, that's with a K. We're going to pick our favorite, and we're going to send you stickers as well. So Jessika, make it an acronym that relates to live streaming. We will pick our favorites, and we'll get you some stickers as well. Hey, guys, thank you so much for being here. We've enjoyed it. It's our first show. Thanks for everyone who stayed here through the glitches and through the craziness. And for your tips, because as I mentioned earlier, we're going to get together every week and we're going to learn together how to live better. So tune in next week. Jessika and Mike, we got a good friend of yours coming in, Christine Gripman, and we're going to talk about personal branding and how it relates to live streaming. Guys, thank you so much for being here and being our first guest. We really, really appreciate it.
Good stuff.